So hi guys and welcome back to my MYTEAM
Hey Chief,
Career Mode
engineering needs your
2.0
attention on
Season 2, and here we are for the francorchamps GP. And guys, if you haven't watched the last video, go and check it out. In the British GP, it was a little bit of weird one for us because we just didn't have the pace. Obviously in the qualifying we qualified really well, but in the race we were just way too slow, and because of that we were driving as Jack Crawford and we only scored P220. Obviously at the end there was a safety car which only collected the top 3 and then went away for the last 2 laps, and because of that even that chance was taken away from us. But still guys, Ayrton Senna, well, he is doing good in his lead, obviously only 5 points though in front of George Russell. So I think Charles Leclerc and George Russell does not have to worry too much right now, but they need to produce the result if they want to do something. So here we have one training point available for our own training. Let's see what we can go here with. Obviously I was thinking here and there, but I thought, you know what, let's go with increase weekly resource points by 25% when the cost cap is between 85% to 100%. So obviously we need resource points right now guys, and that is the main goal. So here we have Jack Crawford who wants to do an end game talks with us. Okay, let's see what he wants to have, and with the 6th best performance he wants from us, and chance of success is 10%, reduced salary, and obviously performance clause has been removed. So 2.1 million with 160k signing bonus. I do not know about signing Jack Crawford for now, so we can just wait a little bit and let this marinate. Let's see what happens. Obviously Yuki Tsunoda might also want to do an end game talks with us because he has already done an advanced talks with us, so I think he will be a good candidate for next season. I do not know about Jack Crawford though. So let's just see. First of all, in the upgrade section, obviously we did not have any resource points to do any upgrade. So let's see. Obviously driver task debrief doesn't really matter to us, so let's just see. In the research, our on track instrumentation is here. That is big because we have 4 million. Let's see what we can buy. Obviously improved counter system will help us really well, so we have obviously bought that. Obviously resource points, the main goal for us right now. So 2.85 million. So what we can buy, obviously upgraded intranet, that also helps us. Let's see. Obviously we still have 1.8 million and I can do one more, and we have gone with driver evolution in race space, so that will be big. Obviously now we do not have any money to do anything. Obviously we have 21 days till the corporate upgrade comes in, so let's go into the research department with 1.8k resource points. Let's see, can we do anything in the aero? We weren't able to do that. And even a major hydraulics, a chassis redistribution upgrade we didn't have resource points for that, so we went into the energy recovery system of the powertrain, a major one at that, and we bought that. So that is honestly going to come out just before Monza, so I don't think we will be able to get that for Monza, so obviously you can't do anything about that. So let's just see. We have another problem here. So title sponsor research project, and we will lose resource points for that, and I am not agreeing for that guys. I cannot lose resource points right now even if it is only 50. So we are obviously almost there for the race. Let's just skip past the time. We have nothing more to do. But for the last time, let's see the development we have. We have failed one aerodynamics, bought that, and we have the engine cover weight distribution upgrade that had to come in. Obviously it will come in for the Monza GP, so it's not going to help us right now. So we have done almost everything and we are right now the 4th best car. But look at that guys, the Mercedes and Red Bull, look at how far these guys are. Obviously we are really close to Ferrari, but Mercedes and Red Bull are pulling away, and even McLaren and Aston Martin, we are very close to each other. But the thing is guys, Mercedes and Red Bull have run away, but we will try to catch up to them. So let's just go into the Spa-Francorchamps GP as Yuki Tsunoda.
Hi High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
So here we are in the qualifying. Obviously guys, I had to go out but I forgot to change the engine. So I thought, you know what, we can take one MGUH then go out for another run. But I saw that okay, turbo might not be a good thing, so I waited and I thought, you know what, let's just do it. And then I saw that we have 11 minutes. Obviously I tried to went back but it did not work out. So we were out of qualifying even before it started. Annoying, but honestly guys, it will be a really amazing comeback story if we can score points after this, which will be really cool. So let's just see. We weren't able to do a lap, but both the Alpines and both the Haas out of SQ1, and Nico Hülkenberg was also out. And guys, honestly I thought this was qualifying. I forgot that this was a sprint qualifying, but we can't do anything about it. Let's just go into the sprint race.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track's a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from Ayrton Senna yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Hamilton, Mayer, Sainz, Piastri and Mark Webber, Antonelli, Crawford, Lance Stroll and Pepe Martin, Bortoletto, Lawson, Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan, Albon, Behrman, Hülkenberg and Yuki Tsunoda rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday, but in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check.
Cool.
This is not going to be an easy race from this position, but just give it your best shot.
Obviously, we know that it's not going to be an easy race, but guys, obviously, we can do something about it. So with the medium tires, 8 laps to do, let's just go into the sprint race with 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are going for the Spa-Francorchamps sprint race with Senna and Verstappen in P1 and P2, Charles Leclerc and Russell going side by side, but into turn 1. Look at that, guys, side by side for Russell and Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris and Mayer trying to go sideways. There was 3 wides behind Mayer and Hamilton did a little bit of occasionals, but we were into P9. Let's just see what happened to us. Amazing start for us. Already overtaken 2 cars and into turn 1. Look at that, guys, they were so slow. All the AIs were so slow that we went through the inside, went in so much that we were able to get ourselves from P22 to P8. 14 position gain in just turn 1. That is amazing. Obviously now the goal should be to catch up to Hamilton, but honestly guys, it will be really difficult because look at that guys. Senna and Verstappen already hurrying away because there are 3 wide with Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris and George Russell, but now it is between Lando Norris. Well, what I'm saying, it's Charles Leclerc versus George Russell, but he went in and we threw the inside of Calimere and we have overtaken her, and now we are into P6. Obviously, wait, I forgot to show you the Hamilton overtake, but it was obviously on the camel straight, an easy one on that. So we are now into P6 already, but we threw the inside of Lando Norris. We go for it at the start of turn 2 and we have overtaken Lando Norris. That is amazing guys. Obviously now we can catch up to Charles Leclerc. Obviously guys, now the drivers in front of me are in a better car on the racing index, but in Spa GP we are always really good. But here is Charles Leclerc. Obviously Lando Norris trying to go side by side with us. Hamilton also trying to fight with Calimere. That is helping us a little bit because they will not be in any kind of fight with us. But the problem is guys that Lando Norris is not fighting with Hamilton and Calimere, which means that he will be able to catch up to us. So we are taking it easy. Obviously look at that guys, Lando Norris just has way too much pace because obviously he is also a fast driver, and we had a little bit of too much rear wing guys. I forgot to tell you, I am running 24 rear wing right now. That is way too high, and because of that I am literally a sitting duck in the straight, and because of that I just let Lando Norris by because I knew guys, if I can do anything here, will be on the camel straight right now. Just let's try to stay, as our racing engineer just said, we have to just stay with him. Let's see if he make a mistake. Even if he doesn't, we can help with the help of DRS, and we go through turn 1. Look at that guy just trying to stay with him, and if we can stay around 4 to 5 tenths, that will be the perfect chance for us to overtake. Obviously guys, we have way too much overfuel in the car. 1.6 laps extra, which is way too much. Obviously 0.5 extra would have been fine, but here with the help of DRS, everything in the battery is given, and we have overtaken Lando Norris on lap 3 with 5 laps to go. Can we defend P5 here? Obviously it will be very difficult guys because the tires are a little bit too much hard. So at the end again on lap 3 guys, it's going to happen again. I am going to let Lando Norris by because I thought that this strat is working really well for us. Obviously without the racing line, it takes me a little bit time to get adjusted because obviously guys, the practice in Spa was on wets, and because of that it was a little bit difficult to get used to the dry, and that too in straight up into the race, and we went side by side with Lando Norris banging wheel, but still we have stayed behind him obviously because we need to get the DRS for this race and then for the next one. And look at that guys, how close we are to Lando Norris, but he has pulled away a little bit, and into turn 1 we have gone wide. We have outbrake ourselves, and because of that we have to now just stay behind Lando Norris. But look at that guys, Lando Norris is running away. We are 8 tenths behind Lando Norris. That is not good. 8 tenths is way too far guys, and I knew it. 7 tenths, even though it's 7 tenths now, but look at that guys, I straight up knew that after this that there is no way we are catching up to Lando Norris, even though, and we have taken our first penalty, and obviously it was to gain time, but look at that, it didn't really help us because after this, look at that, lap 7 guys, Lando Norris just ran away from us, and because Hamilton, Sainz and Calimere were fighting each other so much that it was lap 7 the first time they actually caught up to us. So on lap 7, the penultimate lap for the sprint race, we have done everything alright, but here Hamilton will have the pace and he has the DRS. Look at that, still going side by side into turn 1. We have to go around the outside of Hamilton, but Hamilton is way too fast, so we have to just consolidate our position into P7 and stay in front of Carlos Sainz. But Carlos Sainz comes back because we went a little bit wide out of the Lesmos, but we have stayed in front of Carlos Sainz. That is big guys, obviously, because if we had let that position by, it would have been all for nothing because we were P5. To end our race in P8 would be really bad. So on the last lap we saved enough ERS so that we can do something onto the camel straight, but right now we have to use the battery a little bit because out of turn 1 we messed up the well our exit, and because of that Sainz has the chance that he can overtake us, but we are going to use every bit of battery we have. Obviously in the braking we have much better braking than the Williams behind, and he is really amazing into the straight line. When into turn 1 we played a little bit of a game there, and because of that, and we went on to the gravel into the last rows, and because of that Carlos Sainz comes back, but we have done it, guys. We have stayed in front of Carlos Sainz. Now it will be into the final back straight of the Spa-Francorchamps GP, where Carlos Sainz can fight. Obviously he will try to go side by side into the no name, but it will not work out. So on the end here, guys, Ayrton Senna is the one who wins the Spa sprint, with Max Verstappen into P2 and George Russell into P3, and we were just a little bit behind. And look at that, guys, we have the pace. We have the pace this time to not lose too much time, because we were like 10 seconds behind after 8 laps, which is honestly not that good, but it still is enough to tell me that we can do something in the race. So at the end we have finished our race into P7, which I think was really amazing. So guys, honestly it was a really difficult, obviously driver of the day goes to us, but it's just the sprint race. Let's just see. Obviously our teammate Jack Crawford even scored P11, which is amazing, because obviously his qualifying also went good. So let's just see what we can do here, with Ayrton Senna bagging 8 points and George Russell, Charles Leclerc only getting 6 and 5 points respectively. So this is going to be fun. Let's just go into the qualifying.
High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
And into the qualifying for the main race, guys. It's going to be an easy one for us, because obviously soft tires for us. Q3 should be minimum. Let's just see. Obviously going a little bit wide into turn 1, but we are going to take it very easy. Let's just go. And at the end of the lap, purple first sector. Obviously it was because I used most of my battery in sector 1, and that obviously will cost us a little bit in sector 3, but it doesn't really matter, guys, because it's a really or take relationship here, because we all know that obviously it doesn't matter where you use the battery, we are going to get a little bit better. So here at the end, guys, we have used all our battery. So let's just see. Through the racing line we are doing, and into the final burst of chicane, taking it easy, mounting the curve I think a little bit too much. And let's just see, a better exit, but a little bit too much wheel spin there, but still straight to the line, and we go P2, only a 10th behind Max Verstappen, a 145.3. Amazing lap from us. Obviously our teammate though only P21. I do not understand what happened to him. He was looking really good in the race, but now he has dropped a little bit too much. So we are now on a used set of soft tires, starting our first lap into Q2. I'm sorry, this is on a new set of tires, guys, and this, well, I am trying to do only one lap in Q2 to get ourselves into Q3. So let's just see. Obviously using a little bit too much battery, but I know this time that we have to save a little bit, and that is a really big third into the barriers, but that doesn't matter. And we are taking all the leeway through a rouge, up Gradion, using every bit of battery through Camel Straight, and now out of no name. And here, look at that, guys, again purple sector, and I am using all the battery I have, which honestly might not be advisable, because we need that at the end part of the circuit. So let's just see what we can do here. Every bit of battery I am using, so that we can push as much as we can. Look at that, guys, using all the curbage, and there was Nico Hülkenberg with a 146.1. So we should be able to beat that. Hell, we need to beat it by around a second to do ourselves only one lap in Q2. Obviously it might be a little difficult, but I think we can do it. So final sector and final corner, race to the line, DR is open, and we go with a 145.0. But look at that, guys, George Russell 144.1, and Lando Norris is out of Q2. 2. That is honestly big. Obviously, Antonelli is still not that good in that Williams, so he will take a little bit time. But look at that, guys, 5 tenths faster than anybody else. That is amazing. And look at that, guys. Now all the guys are doing their laps in the 144s. Obviously, I do not know if I can do it, but I will obviously try to do it. So in the first sector on a used set of tires, let's see what we can do. Race through the line and through the burst of chicane now into braking, and we have already used all the deploy, but that doesn't matter. This is on a used set of tires. This is just a banker, and that has caused a little bit too much time out of the exit, and we were 146.2 obviously on a used set of tires though. So for the final lap, here we are, guys. 1 minute remains, using battery as much as we can, because obviously the battery before the lap starts doesn't really count. So here we are, a tenth behind, but that doesn't matter, guys, because I am not using as much battery as I was in my first lap. So we are going to save a lot of battery here so that we can use all of that at the end. And because of that, look at that, first sector was not good, but still we have gained 4 tenths. But guys, 146.2 was my time, so 4 tenths isn't really much. We need to gain around 1.2 or at least 1.5 or 1.6 to get anything, because we need our time to be 144.5, 144.6 or 7, something like that. Because look at that, Hamilton is in 145.1, so we need to do a good lap here and into the burst of chicane. Out of it we have gained 1.2, 1.3 now. Race to the line, a really good exit, 1.5 almost gained, and let's see where we end up. And we are P6. Amazing lap, guys, obviously because we are the 4th best car. It should be at least P6. And obviously George Russell 143.9. What a crazy lap has he done. Max Verstappen behind him, and Ayrton Senna was only 144.6. Even he was in P5. So we will be starting the race with Ayrton Senna.
Welcome then, as we take a step back into the nostalgic golden days of motorsport. Spa is unashamedly a throwback, and all the better for it. Climbs, drops, sharp turns, chicanes, sweeping high-speed corners, all while taking in some of the most beautiful scenery that Europe has to offer. This might sound like a travel brochure, but it's not. It's a race day. Welcome along to Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Mayer, Ayrton Senna and Tsunoda, Hamilton, Piastri, Sainz and Alex Albon, Antonelli, Hülkenberg, Lando Norris and Stroll, Bortoletto, Gasly, Mark Webber and Jack Doohan, Behrman, Lawson, Crawford and Pepe Marti rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Right, mate, I think we both know last race just wasn't good enough, so we need to see an improvement in your performance today. Come on.
So here we are in the race, obviously a medium to hard strategy, but at the end there is rain, and that too very heavy. That means the rain will come in very quickly, so that is big. That is really big for us, guys, because if we did the same thing we did in, well, Canada, that will be really amazing. So let's just go in the race with 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are a go for the Spa main race this time, and George Russell getting an amazing exit, but here was Max Verstappen going too wide, and we go around the outside, a little bit too around the outside of Charles Leclerc, taking P3 from him, and obviously there was behind us, and look at how amazing the start was. And look at that, Calimere tried to defend against Ayrton Senna. Because of that, she just opened up the gap for us, and because of that, we went around the outside of Calimere and then around the outside of Charles Leclerc. So my goal should be to keep up with Max Verstappen and George Russell, but obviously, guys, that is next to impossible. So I am using every bit of battery to not only catch up, to overtake them, but there is George Russell going side by side with Max Verstappen. They will fight, and because of that, they will at least slow each other down enough to make a little bit of a chance for us, but we are just a little bit too far behind, and because of that, Max Verstappen has stayed behind George Russell. Well, he has been overtaken by George Russell, but we were not been able to overtake Max Verstappen. But that doesn't matter, guys, because we have to just stay in front of the people behind us. Obviously, we have a little bit extra, well, this time a lot extra rear wing behind me this time, because we know we can use something. And look at that, guys, out of turn 2, a little bit too much wheel spin out of bus stop chicane, but that doesn't matter. But the problem for us right now is that we have a little bit of one engine, but this time it's only control electronics, which means, guys, it's not too much to worry about. So we are doing everything we can. Obviously, guys, it will be a really big ask for us to keep this, well, podium position. We have gone wide a little bit too much, but still, guys, Charles Leclerc is gaining on us. He is definitely gaining on us, and we close the door from the outside, and this time he has to go around the inside, and let's see, can he do it? Obviously, he wasn't able to do it because I stopped his run when he was trying to go around the outside of me. Obviously, that helped us because Charles Leclerc wasn't able to do anything. So here we are at the end, guys, of lap 3, but the problem is I am saving my tires and my ERS because I know I have to use that on the main straight and then on the camel straight, but because of that, Charles Leclerc has the chance to overtake us and he will try to do something. But obviously, guys, I am also playing a little bit because I know if he is able to overtake us, we will get the DRS, and we definitely did that. But the problem is we went into too deep of bus stop, and because of that, he has run away a little bit. Max Verstappen is nowhere to be seen, but Charles Leclerc has run away a little bit. But we have the battery. We have the fuel too, and we will get the DRS. So on the up the Rouge through Radion, we have the DRS, we have the battery, and now we will open up a rear flap, and that is DRS open, and we have fly past Charles Leclerc. That was not too difficult, was it? So here we are taking it easy and going a little bit too deep in the Lake chicane, but that doesn't matter, guys. And we just had a yellow flag. And there is looks like an Sauber, a kick Sauber behind us is very slow, and it must be, I guess, Nico Hülkenberg, or the other Sauber is Pepe Marti. So it's either and well, we got the confirmation it is Pepe Marti, and he had to park the car on the camel straight. Obviously, he was in the mix of fighting Behrman and Crawford, but he has to park at the end, guys, of the camel straight. Obviously, looks like there will be no VSC or safety car, but that doesn't matter, guys, because we can still keep in front of Charles Leclerc and Ayrton Senna, guys. Obviously, Charles Leclerc is not too difficult. I mean, he is difficult, but he is not too difficult, because I know if Ayrton Senna is the one behind me, it will get very difficult. So here we are on lap 6, guys. This time Charles Leclerc is way too close to us, because obviously out of turn 1 I push a little bit too much, I brake a little early, then get out of the corner.
Push for the position, and the time last lap 1:49.3. Okay, so gap to the car ahead 6.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Come on, mate, we're dropping back by a second a lap.
And oh my goodness, we are dropping back by a second to George Russell. Obviously, guys, honestly, it does make sense because they are on an amazing car with amazing tire wear. Obviously, we are the first best car, so it's not that bad, but we should not be able to catch up. But still, guys, a second a lap is too much. Well, considering we were 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower in the British GP, it's not that bad. But here we are on lap 7. Look at that, guys, taking every leeway out of radio. But this time Sonoda is defending against Charles Leclerc. But the problem for us, we went onto the grass. Because of that, Charles Leclerc, we get an amazing exit, but into turn 6 we have braked a little bit too late, and because of that, Charles Leclerc was not able to do. And look at that, guys, again we took his slipstream, then went through the inside, and because of that, Charles Leclerc had to, well, go into the corner a little bit later. Because of that, now Ayrton Senna will be the one who will try to overtake us, and that causes trouble because he is Ayrton Senna, and obviously he's in a Red Bull, which is, if not the fastest, the second best car on the grid right now with Mercedes, and they are really close to each other. So let's see how long I can defend against Ayrton Senna. Let's see. Obviously we are taking it easy right now because we do not have to do anything here, but we have gone a little bit by not taking the curve a little bit better, but we can still do something. Let's just keep on him and let's just see if he breaks. Obviously we will be the one who will be the one breaking, but let's see what we can do. So lap 9 here into turn 1, we are 6 tenths in front of Ayrton Senna. Ayrton Senna has not caused that much problem for us. Honestly, it might sound crazy, but that's what I'm saying. He has not done too much craziness, which is crazy to say. So here we are up the radio and using all the battery we have, though we are 4 tenths behind Ayrton Senna. Well, sorry, Ayrton Senna is 4 tenths behind. He will try to overtake us, and we have decided to pit this lap, but we have stayed in front of Ayrton Senna. Obviously, guys, the reason I decided to pit a lap earlier, but here's Ayrton Senna trying to overtake us, and we give him space. Obviously, I would not have done that for any other driver, which I just did for Ayrton Senna, going on to the grass, going on to the gravel, just to give him enough space. But at the end, we were the one who were able to overtake Ayrton Senna. But let's just keep on him. Obviously, guys, what I am saying is, the reason I am pitting a lap earlier, it's not to gain any position or anything. It's just that I know that there will be rain at the end of the race. So let's just pit a lap earlier so that we can use those hard tires as much as we can. So here we are in the pits. Let's just see what we get. Obviously, we had to pit on lap 10, so pitting a lap earlier isn't really that bad. So wait, Lando Norris has been dropped to P9. Well, he was out of Q2, makes sense. Of course. That is the only thing that was needed, wasn't it? The only thing we needed was a bad pit stop right now, because that's the only thing that could have made my race worse, and it has made it worse. So at the end of lap 10, let's see how many drivers are going to overtake us. Obviously, guys, because Charles Leclerc and Ayrton Senna were very close to us, and I know those two will overtake us. So we have to, well, I am pushing as much as I can, not too much though. And here is Charles Leclerc. Look at that, guys. Ayrton Senna has not pit, and Hamilton has not pit. I think so. At least Charles Leclerc has overtaken us, and he is 2 seconds in front. Okay, that is annoying.
Mayer's behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards.
Obviously, I was trying to know if Kelly Mayer also overtook us, but the good news is she did not overcut us. But here we are trying to overtake our teammate Jack Crawford through the inside. I am a little bit too shocked with that overtake. Honestly, guys, I had to do it, because if I had not done it, we would have been stuck behind Jack Crawford, and that would have caused us a little bit too much pace difference. So here we are on lap 12, and there is Ayrton Senna pitting. Let's see, does he come out behind us? And he comes out side by side with us, and that is the good news, guys, because we pit 3 laps earlier. 3 laps earlier we pit than Ayrton Senna, and because of that we were able to, well, around 3 seconds the gap was after that bad pit stop, and we were able to bridge that. But here is Calimero fighting with Carlos Sainz behind us, and Hamilton is also behind us, so that is good, guys. So at the end, after everyone who has pit, we can see is that Charles Leclerc is the only one who actually overcut us because he pit on lap 10. So that is honestly a really good news for us. But I do not understand what's happening to Calimero. She is losing way too much time, because honestly she is, I think, 82, 83 rated. So she should be doing a much better job. But here we are on lap 14, guys. We have stayed in front of Ayrton Senna. But now I think it will be a little difficult to do that, because Ayrton Senna is honestly a good driver. But guys, the good news for us is that rain is coming, and it will be coming in, I guess, well, 5 to 6 laps. So
okay, stand by. We see a problem our end and we're looking into
yep,
it.
that is the only thing we needed. But here is Ayrton Senna, and he goes side by side with us, and look at that, guys, we have overtaken. Well, there was a front wing or some kind of carbon fiber flying about, and
It looks like we're
so this
experiencing an
is the
ERS
problem.
software glitch.
We do not have ERS, guys, and that is going to cost us a lot. That is going to cost us a lot, because Ayrton Senna will very easily overtake us. Look at that, how defensive I am trying to go and here out of Puon, and Ayrton Senna has overtaken us, and that was inevitable, guys, because obviously Ayrton Senna, if he isn't able to overtake us with the help of ERS, but without the ERS he will be able to overtake us in a much faster car. So yeah, I have to stay with Ayrton Senna, guys, because that is the only way I can defend against Calimero. I do not know how long this problem will last, but here is Calimero trying to overtake us, and she will, and look at that, guys, how much I'm trying to push her through bronze smoke, and I am not doing everything. But
Overtake and burn off some of this energy.
how am I supposed to use the overtake? How am I supposed to use the overtake when we have none? But here, out of bus stop, look at that, guys, we will get the DRS of Calimero at least, so that is good news for us. So we got the DRS, and can that, well, problem will be fixed, and thank you, it has been fixed. But the good news is, guys, we are not stuck on 30%. That is honestly a big thing, because if we had been stuck on 30%, that would have been big. But we have 100% battery. That means I am going to use that every bit of battery to overtake Calimero back with 7 laps to go, using all the battery we have and DRS open. We go around the outside of Calimero with the DRS help, and we have overtaken her. Obviously, guys, Ayrton Senna was never going to stay behind us for the whole race, and he got an easy overtake with us without the help of us using any ERS, because we had none. So on lap 16, guys, we have seen droplets of rain, and we have cut across the whole track almost to get into the pits, and I am going on to inters. But the problem is, I thought, guys, I might be a little bit early, but the hell, the whole grid is into the pits for a pit stop to go on the inters, because the annoying thing is, guys, 5 lap early as the rain came, and 5 lap early means around a 10-minute rain almost in the racing time. So that's why none of these guys took any kind of risk. Every single driver went on to inters. We weren't able to replicate anything like, well, Canada, and obviously, guys, in Canada we were just a little bit slow, but here we were really close, well, at least within 10 seconds to the podium, which is P3 of Charles Leclerc. But at the end of lap 8, well, starting lap 18, here we are. Look at that, guys, we were able to catch up to Ayrton Senna and Charles Leclerc by 2 seconds, because we have a little bit better rear wing, but we do not have the performance those guys have. But that doesn't matter, guys. I am going to push as much as I can, and I am not using battery this time, and because, guys, we are able to save and do something in front. So on lap 20, guys, we have stayed in front of Calimero. Obviously, she hasn't been able to put on a charge any kind, because in turn 1 I brake a little early, get a good exit, and because of that she wasn't able to do anything. But on this lap guys, Calimere has a really good exit out of radio, but we are using every bit of battery and I am going defensive, though it doesn't make sense to defend the clean air, but it doesn't matter guys. This helped us stay in front of Calimere. This was the more or less the only chance Calimere got to overtake us, so it was really good news for us. But at the end of lap 22 we have stayed in front of Calimere, though this time she is a little bit closer. But the thing is guys, we are starting our final lap and we have enough battery to stay in front of Calimere, because look at that, she's 7 tenths behind us. And into turn 1 again breaking it a little bit earlier, then getting a good exit, and because of that she is now almost a second behind. But she caught up a little bit, but still guys, this won't be enough because we have done it. But Max Verstappen, who did the best winning the Spa GP from George Russell, and both of these guys were 19 seconds in front of Charles Leclerc. Obviously guys, we were not 19 seconds behind the top 2, we were I think 13-14 seconds, so Charles Leclerc lost 6 seconds on his own accord, so that is crazy. But here we are in the final sector and the rain has gotten very worse. It is close to wets, but we are taking it easy because we know guys that Calimere won't be able to overtake us. But we go a little bit wide out of bus stop, not getting a good exit, and we are trying to just get past the racing line, and we have done it. We have done the thing guys we needed to do, and we have scored 10 big points for our team. This will help us in the constructor, and the driver of the day goes to Jack Crawford.
It's another victory and a champion's performance.
The difficult circumstances they face throughout this race today, Profiteers, it's not easy, and it really shows a lot of maturity, and you can use this, you can draw on this as a driver moving forward and boost your confidence through the rest of the championship.
It's time for our podium celebrations, and as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not, it's back again, because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
So what an amazing race guys. We scored 12 points even though we started from P22 in the sprint. But honestly guys, it was an amazing race. We did good. Well, Jack Crawford didn't do that good, but obviously after getting out of Q1 it is a little difficult. Look at that. He got only 3 positions. I do not understand why Lando Norris did not get the driver of the day when he could have gotten that. Because look at that, he finished, where is he? He finished P12. Well, okay, he finished in P12 only. So let's just see, look at that guys, we are now P7, just 1 point behind Lando Norris for Yuki Tsunoda. But the main thing for us is P5 in the constructor, just behind McLaren. Can we do anything about them? I highly doubt it. But look at that guys, 15k is what we lost, but it was an amazing race. So guys, if you are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.